Hey guys, welcome to Hangover Airbrush. Today we're going to do this old weathered kind of bad painting, worn out brushed paint technique. If you got a better name, let me know. The obvious thing is sometimes what we struggle with the most. So how are we going to get this technique? Well, we're going to use the most obvious of methods. We're going to use a brush. So we have here transparent brown, because that's what's going to help sell the deal, make this look as real as possible. A 3/4 inch brush, because this is a 1/10 scale cabin. I want it to look kind of beat up. This is a 1/10 scale building, so I want the brush to be right around like a 7 or 8 inch brush that they used a long time ago, and it's old and weathered, and this 3/4 inch brush is going to work just fine for that. Technique, it's painfully simple, but you say, well, Jack, this isn't an airbrushing video. This is true. This is stage one, which is applying the main texture. But part of being an airbrush artist is knowing, or part of being any artist, is just knowing what techniques you have, when they are appropriate, when to use them. Try to save yourself some time. Try and save time, become a better artist, and try to become more efficient so that we can be better at our craft. Some things that I've noticed that help really bring this to life is paint this thing like you would paint a real house. And short brush strokes. Remember, you should pretend like your arms are 1/10 scale, so you know you're not going to have full range of motion. And also, if you were going to paint this house for real, I've noticed that when I paint a real house, when I cut the corners or when I cut these edges, I do that with a lot more paint on the brush than I would normally have everywhere else. So when you cut these edges, cut them in nice and thick. And for whatever reason that is, the thick paint seems to deteriorate, I guess, slower than the rest of the other and everything else. So what that does is that's why we get these little wear blotches. I don't know exactly why this happens, but I've noticed on a bunch of old buildings and cabins or whatever, anything that was brush painted has this pattern or texture, if you want to call it that, of just inconsistent colors after a while. If you haven't noticed this already, now that I pointed it out, hey, you're going to see it everywhere. And you're like, oh yeah, it was right. Another observation of mine is that the brush strokes at the top come down. Ones in the middle kind of just go up and down. And the brush strokes at the bottom, because think about it, you're leaned over towards the bottom. Those brush strokes typically go up. One more quick tip of advice is to paint under the light. The more light, the better, honestly. If I paint in bright light, and then when the light's dim, or the lighting gets dimmer, my work tends to still look good. Whereas is the exact opposite if I paint where it's dark and then the lights come on, a lot of times my artwork doesn't look as good. Well, there you go. I'll go ahead and let this dry for a little bit. Come back, check it out in a little while. And that's the beauty part about transparent paints, is you just keep layering them on and they get darker. And the more you put on inconsistently, you see that. So who knew it was that easy? Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Check me out on Facebook. Subscribe if you haven't already. You guys were nice enough to subscribe, so I try real hard to come up with relevant material to cover in these videos. So keep the suggestions coming, and leave your comments down in the comments section where they go. And see you on the next one.